Happy Monday, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Everyone doing good?
Good.
I just got back from the NAR convention, and I'm experiencing a little bit of jet lag. So if I'm a little bit off today, that's why. So, Lee, you probably travel quite a bit, don't you?
Yeah, I know the feeling. I did that from 2010 through 2017, where we were at every NAR, every Remax, R4. I mean, it was
Wow.
it's grueling. I mean, it seems glamorous, but
Yeah.
after the second day of being on your feet for 8 hours, it's like, are we done yet? And you
Yeah.
always get coaxed to go out, and then you pay the price the next day, you know?
Yeah, that is the truth. Yeah, and they're always associated with each other, right? The
Yep.
networking.
You have to go out because that's where all the deals get done, you know?
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and that's kind of what happened is for us. We had some really amazing meetings with. We actually met with Rocket Mortgage, had a great meeting with them. Had a great meeting with Lone Wolf. Met some really just awesome powerhouse agents. It was really a lot of so. Well, cool. So today what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about leveraging our social coach application to get 40 hours back in your time a month. Well, or maybe not your time, but your marketing. If you have a marketing person's time, it'll give them a tremendous amount of leverage as you're building your brand through social media. So we're going to be talking about that. So I'm going to share my screen here a little bit, or real quick. Let's see here. So let me go. And all right. Can everyone see my screen okay? Cool. All right. So if we look at our sales acceleration blueprint here, where we're at, we're going to be talking about today's training is how to leverage social media and video marketing, and what we've done to help agents do that, help teams do that. Put together this app called Ren Social Coach, and it is included in every single package, whether it's level 1, level 2, level 3, and up that we offer. And so for some of you might have this active already. It just rolled out, so some of you may still need to get it active, where you're going to definitely want to check on it. And I'm going to start off by sharing a story behind the power of this application, and it really hit home with me, and that's why I want to train on it today. So I went into I took some of the educational courses that they had at NAR. And one of them was on social media and video marketing, and I was checking it out, and it was the lady was great. So when I say this, I don't want anyone to think that the content wasn't good and this lady wasn't great. That's not the point of my stories. But she was she kind of laid the foundation of making sure it's important to have a social media publishing plan, making sure that you time block when you're going to be doing these different things. Kind of went over ideas and topics on what to post about. She talked about at the NAR convention, making sure that once a week you go live, and then how you can take that live content and repurpose it. And it was it was stuff where I got some good ideas, just like anything else that you do. You always try to take away ideas, no matter how much you think you know or don't know. You stay open-minded. And I got some really good ideas, but in the back of my head, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if I had 5 minutes on that stage and I told them about our social coach app, this would blow their mind, because they can literally have all of this automated, or I should say at least 80 to 90% of this automated for them, and it would save them so much time. And so what we did is after the meeting in the convention, or after that specific event that broke out, there was probably a couple hundred people there, and literally all we did was we held up a flyer saying, what if you could do everything that was that she just talked about, but it was automated and all the content was created for you? Would you be interested? And it was like we got table rushed pretty much in the corner, because the reality is that if we're just being real, if we can just have real talk for a minute, the reality is that most of the amazing ideas that go around in our industry, it's just not realistic for us to execute on them unless we have the right people, the right process, and the right tools in place. If we're just being real, there's a lot of just, would anyone agree with that? Just by the way, that there's, in our industry, there's some amazing ideas. The innovation is incredible, but the reality, the brutal truth is the ability for us to be able to execute on these things, unless the people, the process and tools come together with all the things that we got going on, it's just not realistic. And so what my frustration is in this industry, and kind of what my mission is to find ways to make it easier to execute, to take things that can kind of be complex, but to simplify them. And by the way, that's why I'm sold out on this blueprint here, because for me, I was the person that I'd be up late at night on YouTube, gathering an idea. I'd go to a convention, get another idea, but I get so frustrated with the execution part of it. And that's kind of what put me on the mission of creating this system where we can strategically and methodically and almost in a scientific fashion grow our businesses. And has anybody else here felt that same thing, where you bring in the idea, you get the idea, but then you just get so freaking frustrated with trying to actually execute on it. Sometimes you just put it aside longer than it should be. Can you guys relate to that? So Social Coach is something that we put together to help eliminate that for you guys. And I just want to make sure you guys are taking full advantage of Social Coach, because if it's done the right way, over the course of time, you're going to experience some pretty awesome results. And so I'm going to go through a few quick tips and ideas on Social Coach. By show of hands, how many people have Social Coach up and running right now, or by chat? If you could put it in the chat, if you've gotten Social Coach up and running, drop that in the chat. Ren Social Coach. Scott said he's in trouble getting it started. Awesome, Phil. Happening this week. That's great.
I'm messaging Amy right now.
I love it. He's taking massive action. I love it, Lee. That's awesome. And it did just roll out. Go ahead, Alfredo.
Sorry about.
You're chopping up a little bit, Alfredo. If you could repeat that, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm driving that. Yeah, I don't have it either yet.
Okay.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yep. Thumbs up. I can hear you. Okay, so let's go over some important things. So for those of you that are getting it up and running, these are some important things to pay attention to here. All right, and let me just go ahead and share my screen. All right. So just as a reminder of what this is going to do for you. So basically, you're going to get an app downloaded on your phone. Okay. It's going to be an application that gets downloaded on your phone. And what this application is going to do, it's going to take content that has been pre-constructed for you based on the best strategies of social media and content. And we've partnered with Tristan from Lab Coat Agents and Jeff Fitzer from Fitzer Media. If you heard those names, they're extremely successful agents, as well as social media influencers. And they're actually going out and actually their team is producing this content for you. Then there's a layer of artificial intelligence that is seeking and searching out hashtags to make sure that that post, when it goes out, gets the biggest reach. Okay. Just out of curiosity, who's ever tried to mess around with like posting and like taking the time to do the hashtags and like felt this like anxiety and frustration, like of all the time that it took to like figure, like typing up the hashtags, and you're like, screw this, like I'm freaking like this is just, and so like that's what essentially what social coach is going to do. Okay. Now, what is the content? It is home buying tips, home selling tips, custom video scripts, motivational quotes, general real estate stories. And here's what's cool about it is in the app, okay, it gives you an option to actually download that content or make adjustments to that content right in the application. So if you want to make it fit more your brand, or if you want to take it and put it into Canva or whatever it may be, you can do that. And it is seamless and all push button. And the big thing that I love is on Thursday, Tristan and Jeff give you a recommended video script to use, and it'll prompt you on your phone. And this is so important, is do not skip over Thursday, because you want to make sure it has that personal touch, right? And if you commit to doing the video once a week on a Thursday, that's going to be that's going to tie everything together. All right. And I'm going to share with you why that's important. And this strategy is not for everybody, but for those of you that do have a marketing assistant or are going to be getting a marketing assistant, what's great is you can repurpose that video. Okay. So imagine the content's going out. You do your video on Thursday once a week with the prompt. That video gets pushed out. And I almost forgot to say this. When the content goes out, it gets pushed out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And I believe there's another one too that it might be getting pushed out. So it is not Facebook Live. No, it's not. When the video happens, it gets dispersed. So it is different than Facebook Live. So what's great though is once you do that video and it gets posted everywhere, you can also take that video and download it and send it to your database. So when you start doing that video, you can repurpose that video and have that be a video that goes out as a touch point to your database, whether it's your past clients, your sphere, or you do what I do and just send it out to my entire database once a week. And what's nice about that is the video, once you get in the rhythm of it, the time investment to do that is about 5 to 10 minutes. At first, you're probably going to suck at it like I did, right? So like, it's probably going to be like reshoot, like until you feel comfortable with it, right? That's how it was for me anyway, is till I got comfortable kind of doing video. It took me a little bit, but eventually you'll get to the point where you can literally take 5-10 minutes and push this video out, have your admin, or if it's just you, if you're solo, just download it and then use the Ren Marketing Hub to distribute the video with a mass email and a mass text. Pretty cool. So we did a beta test on this app with the Brown team and also our brokerage. And through the beta test, the Brown team had a marketing assistant on their team. She said that it saved her over 40 hours a month in content creation and hashtagging. 40 hours a month, folks, it saved her. And so that's the leverage that you're going to get. And so what that looks like for results is you're going to get more followers, you're going to get more likes to your business page, and you're going to create a pool of people that you can then start building relationships with. And I want you to write this down. It's important that we see our social media as an extension of our database. Meaning, if you think that there's people on your social media page that aren't doing real estate and that don't have real estate needs, they do. And they're going to end up working with somebody else if they don't work with you, right? So we got to stay in front of them. And this tool is this automated tool is going to help us do that, okay? And help us create a targeted audience, okay? So I wanted to talk about that. It's stupid simple to use. Once you get the app, it's literally like one tap posting. So, and guys, remember, here's the coolest thing I think you're going to love about working with me. I love tech, but I'm not a tech guy. And like, in other words, like if it's not stupid user friendly for me, I get all like crazy about it. Right. So like I naturally, I like to test things and work things and try to simplify things for the average user. And I think this app, they did such a great job at it, because I figured it out really quickly. And that's important, because if I can figure it out, then I know most of my audience or most of the people in the Renegade family can figure it out pretty quickly too. So I'm going to open it up just for, any questions that you guys have.
Isaiah, it's Laura.
Hey, Laura.
I guess I'm trying to figure out business video school and then the posts that are on the Playbook and then social coach, and figuring out, can I eliminate one or do I use all three?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So let me go to the dashboard quick. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So Business Video School is a membership that you have access to. And this is designed to help you guys, like for those of you that want to get really great at video and take video to the next level, Business Video School gives you a roadmap on how to become an expert at video marketing. Okay. So it's not really an application. It's really an educational library or a university that we pay for on your behalf. So instead of you having to go to Business Video School and pay for it, it's part of your membership with us.
I
Does that
guess
make sense so far?
yes. I guess I'm not trying to eliminate one. I'm just trying to figure out how to incorporate all three, I guess.
Yeah, I'm explaining that. Yep.
Okay.
I'm on the same page with you. It's a great question. So with Business Video School, you're going to use that if you're going to be somebody that's going to go use, like you want to like just master all things video. You want to learn how to do a video text. You want to learn ideas on, you're not going to just do video once a week through the social post. You're going to do a video every day. You're going to go live. Like and you just want to know all things video. You're going to go out and you're going to create a video. You're going to get a studio, right? And you're going to buy the lights, right? And you're going to you're going to go all out on video. That's what Business Video School is. Okay. And I'm not saying that everyone shouldn't go through it and at least get the basics down, because there's some awesome things, but then there's some really advanced things too. Okay. So for me, I just chip away at Video Business School to try to get ideas, right, on things that I want to do, and just making sure that when it's my rotation on when our team is working on social media and video, when the flywheel, we reference that to pick ideas out and just figure out ways to get better. Okay. So that's how you use Video Business School. All right. So then with the Playbook, okay, the Playbook is there for probably for you, Laura, when you get a marketing person on your team, you're more likely going to be using some of the things that we recommend in the social media publishing plan. It's if you're going to execute on that whole plan, it's very time consuming, and you'll probably need somebody to help you execute on it.
Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So but let me show you what I think you can execute on, and how you can start using social media to generate leads and deals. Okay. So if you go to the social media publishing plan here, guys, these are based on the best practices of what top experts recommend you do on each network. Now, the reason why I'm sharing that with Laura, and for most of us, it's not realistic to be able to execute a social media plan on Facebook, another plan on Instagram, another plan on YouTube, right? And another plan on Google for SEO, right? It's not realistic for us to do all that. And that's why, just remember I say this, it's more about the who sometimes than the how.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So there might be some things you just got to table, Laura, and say, okay, until I am at the place where I'm ready to have somebody to do this for me, I might not execute on all of this. But here's what I would say. You should be able to do one network.
Okay.
You should be able to use one network. I like Instagram and Facebook because they communicate with each other, but there's absolutely no reason during your time blocking, Laura, where you're doing your prospecting. And I want you to write this down, guys. Prospecting is not by just phone anymore. We got to stop thinking prospecting is just by phone, or prospecting is just by door knocking. Okay. It's not. Prospecting is leveraging any channel of communication that you can have one-to-one conversations with. That's prospecting. And it was a big shift for me anyway. I don't know if it is for other people, but it was a big shift for me. And since I started doing it, the connections, the conversations, both in real estate and out of real estate, have been absolutely phenomenal when I'm intentional about staying connected. Now, how do you do that? Okay. Well, for example, my partner in our brokerage, Bobby, we have a list of 100 vendors. Okay. We have a list of 100 vendors that we want to develop relationships with. They're contractors, they're attorneys, they're appraisers, they're insurance agents. They're people that are extremely well known in our community, and we want to be connected with them. So what we do is we network with them. And how we network with them is we get them to join our pages. We start clicking on their stuff. We start liking their pages. We start commenting on their posts. And what happens when we do that, they start seeing our posts, because that's how the Facebook algorithm works. Right? And then what we do, and not necessarily in this order, but once a week, we'll pick a vendor and we'll show off that vendor. We'll give that vendor exposure to our database. And then what happens is we give that vendor the video after we've interviewed them and given them exposure to our database, and we give them that video to send to their database. Well, now we just got in front of everybody in their database.
Okay.
And if you do that in a rotation of 100 times a year, we start seeing this social viral omnipresence conversation that starts happening, where Lee is everywhere, where Laura is freaking everywhere, showing up, right, and networking everywhere. So that's what we're doing right now for our team, our brokerage. We, within Facebook, is we're networking with that, but we also do this with key clients. If you had a really good listing presentation, Laura, or Phil, if you went out on a really good listing presentation, okay, you should be connecting with them, sending them a quick video afterwards, connecting with them on Facebook, liking and commenting on their kids, on their pictures. You're staying in front of them during that follow process. Right?
Yes.
So Laura, this one right here, you can execute on, because it's part of your prospecting and follow-up efforts anyway. It should be incorporated when you wake up in the morning and you're going to get ready to dial and you're making some phone calls or follow-up calls, you're calling your leads, right after you're done calling your leads and you're doing your follow-up, you should also be prospecting through social media and maybe going live once a week. Okay. And here's the great thing, the video that you did with the social, here's where social coach comes in. Okay. Ready?
Okay.
You know, the video that you did with social coach? Well, that's going to get pushed out, right?
Right.
That covers your video once a week. That's recommended in this plan.
Okay.
Is it connecting?
Yes. Yes. It's like a flywheel in itself.
It is. It really is. And it is a flywheel in itself. It all builds on itself. And so the better you get at
So
executing.
now, what about all the, and then the posts that are on the calendar also? Do we do those in addition to social coaches posts?
If you have time, absolutely.
Okay.
If you have time, absolutely.
But
Go ahead.
starting off new, we would start with social coach first and then implement these in addition.
Yes. So for example, for me, I do both. So what I like to do is I like to take social coaches content and look at the things that are being put out there and incorporate it into more of a personal post that I do along with it, but that's not necessary. It just depends on, what you got going on. So ideally you should have, a couple hours of prospecting, following up with your leads, and then another hour you're spending time engaging your database on social media in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
That's
all right.
3 hour. It's kind of like a 3 to 3 hour process of which we train and what we try to have our agents, and I try to do the best that I can as well in some way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Yep, you're welcome. Anybody else have any questions?
Good afternoon. The app, when will that be available on the phone?
You can, if you contact your marketing coach
Okay.
or support, they'll walk you through how to download it, and you should be able to get it up and running once all your social media accounts are connected. You should be up and running in 24 to 48 hours.
Excellent. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. So I've had this, Lee, on our team page for going on 4 weeks now, and I've already got 600 followers from just social coaches posting efforts.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
I was just adding up for the social media publishing plan. While you were talking, I just clicked through the pages I have it open on my other screen.
cool.
And it's really only, there's not that many hours a week that you need to spend.
Right.
And it really goes back to what we talked about the last couple of weeks ago, is budgeting your time. It's really,
Yep.
I mean, just budget the time, shut your phone off, and, just follow the blueprint. I mean,
Yep.
couldn't be simpler than that.
That's right. That's right. One of my mentors, to Lee's point, said, as an entrepreneur, we need to shift from becoming a consumer of content to becoming a creator of content. It's our responsibility to stop consuming and create. That's what we do as entrepreneurs. We create things. I thought that was just a powerful way to say it.
That's awesome.
Yep. Good. Good. Any other questions? So who's going to commit to making sure between now and Monday that they're going to get social coach up and running, so you guys can show us some results? Is that cool with you guys? Can you put it in your chat if you're committed to making sure that happens? And again, it's included, guys. There's no upcharge here. It's already included in your existing service rollout. Cool.
How
All right.
much would that cost if somebody just wanted to do it on social coach on their own?
Between $150 and $250 a month. if they were going to do it on their own, depending on how much, if they were using Jeff's and Tristan's content, which they wouldn't be able to necessarily get access to that because we contracted them specifically for custom content. So if you added that on top of it, just being able to tap into the relationship, I don't know what value you put on that, so.
So Isaiah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so this is a social coach that is included, as you mentioned at the beginning, all levels, right? And that's we can start using them as soon as you said it's going to be launched soon.
It's launched now. You just got to call your marketing coach, or contact support.
Okay.
And they'll get it up and running for you. It's called REN Social Coach. So just say Ren Social Coach. Yep.
Okay. So the commitment is you said to be using them.
Yeah, the commitment I'm asking is to get it up and running. And once you get it up and running, then you'll start getting some posting happening.
Okay. Yeah.
And hopefully next Monday we can have some conversation together around what's being posted, how it's going, what we're running into, all that good stuff.
Okay, since I'm new here, my launch call with the marketing coach is going to be on Wednesday, so I'll probably tell them that, right?
Yes, tell them to see if they can prioritize that, because you were in a coaching session with Isaiah and you'd like to prioritize that if possible.
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Cool. All right, any other questions?
Isaiah, can I ask you a question that not regarding this? Do you know if they sent out the Chatti Bazi listing presentation yet from the 5-day challenge?
I would put in a ticket on that. That's one of those that might have fallen through the cracks.
Okay.
I would put a ticket on that to make sure my team remembers to do that.
Okay, I will.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, I'm going to end on this. We have a boot camp starting at 1:15, so I want to end a little bit early here so I can prepare. But I thought this is a cool post that we put out from Inman. And what does the effectiveness of coaching depend on most? And I thought this was interesting. They polled I think it was over 3,000 agents that Inman polled, and Lee kind of said something that I thought was really powerful is our ability to be able to just execute, right, and take action on what we're learning. And so this is what came back on how effective coaching programs are. So the cost of the program is this important to the overall success of coaching. The quality of the coach is this important here. And then the agent level of commitment to the coaching process is this much. It looks about 70% of the process, right? And so I want to make sure quite frankly, as a coach, I was like, oh man, I would have thought it was a little bit more. I'm like, man, I'd like to value myself a little bit more than that, right? But at the same time, if we're just being, I just thought this was quite interesting, is that if you look at the people that are just great, they're just the greatest executors. They just find a way to just execute with speed, right? And they find a way to prioritize. But also too, here's one thing that I didn't agree with, which I don't think that was represented here. Okay. That I didn't agree with this post. I didn't agree with, I think they should have maybe one more, and that was the systems in place to help them execute. Because you can have the greatest coach, you can have the greatest content, but if there's not effective systems to help us execute, then I don't, I think it gets very difficult. And that's kind of like going back to the blueprint. So I just wanted to end the meeting on your thoughts. I mean, who got it? What do you guys think about that diagram that I showed you? What are your thoughts on that? For those of you that have experience being in a coaching organization or Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? What are your guys' thoughts?
When it talks about taking action, is it a specific type of action? What kind of action is it, is what I'm wondering about.
It's making a commitment to actually following the process of what's being taught.
Okay.
Yep.
I agree with it.
I think cost is, even though it says cost is the least important, I think that in a way, you'd think it would be the opposite, because if I'm spending $1,000 a month to be coached, I'm going to feel more pressure to, have my commitment level be higher.
Right.
So that's the only little, part of the equation that is kind of baffling to me, because
I agree.
I've done stuff where it was free and nobody shows up,
Right.
but then you charge and then you get people show up, because
It's
it's
like
weird.
it's like perceived value, right? Almost is kind of what you're saying. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I don't think people realize the value you're providing, it's right under their nose,
I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, Lee, I try to hit something that's affordable for everybody. But yeah, I mean, there's some programs out there for the same thing, just for the coaching side. They're my friends, by the way. They're my friends when I say this, and I'm not saying this in a negative way, because there's a ton of value there, but they charge you 20 grand a year just for this one, just for the coaching part of things, and they're absolutely awesome. But, so I personally think that with the cost of it is that I think it's got to make sense for the majority of people, but it can't be something that's, like you said, there's not really a financial commitment, so people don't take it seriously. So like, there's got to be like a balance to that, I think. What do you think about that, Lee?
Yeah, I agree. Like, we launched, we're actually in the process of relaunching a product, and I gave it to 10 people to kind of test the beta. And I'm like, you guys can have it for free to get this tested, and getting them to even go log in to start is like, it's like it's a root canal to just get them going.
Yep, absolutely. That's good. Anybody else? Go ahead, Scott. Yep.
So I agree with that chart, because I think it is the agent's commitment, at least speaking for myself, that if I'm just trying to hit numbers, but not really trying to get appointments, that's my commitment, that I'm really not committed to it. And what I like about your program is it's just not making the phone calls, but now you're teaching how to follow up better and everything else that goes with it. Yours is more rounded. So I'm very impressed with everything you guys do. And but I do agree, it is the agent's commitment to that program. And you do have to pay. I feel you have to put money into it, because if you don't, it's very easy to blow it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what level everyone has, with Isaiah's system, but I did a Zoom this morning, and I was able to bring on a top producing agent to join my team, because I shared with them all the stuff that, that Isaiah has to offer and that they'd be a part of. So,
That's exciting.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Lee, I'm glad you brought that up. So my challenge for the next 21 days is a recruiting challenge. So like, what we do is what we did on the challenge. If you guys weren't there for this last 5-day challenge, what we did is we took each part of the flywheel and we broke it down, and we had people pick what part of the flywheel they felt they wanted to concentrate on the most for the next 21 days. Was the theme of it. And for our organization, it's attracting talent. So it's not just agents, but we're going to focus on agents. And so Friday, we're really going to be ramping up what we're doing on that. And so my goal, I'm kind of making a public commitment myself here, but my goal is to make sure I have a sales funnel and a webinar that is up and running. So for agent attraction in the next 21 days, and then all the drip campaigns for follow-up. So when they come into the sales funnel, all the drip campaigns are there. So if you guys are interested, where I'm just going to kind of take everybody underneath the hood. I'm going to be kind of be showing you the like, what do they say, the dirt, the messy part of creating the sausage, right? Like I'm going to be kind of showing you guys that, so you can't judge me too much as I'm building it, because it's going to start off kind of looking a little like, okay, what is happening? And then all of a sudden it's going to come together. And then what I'm going to do is, for anyone that is really interested in agent attraction, I'm just going to give you a copy of my funnel, and you guys can like take it and do what you want with it, for, to attract agents. So, but the goal is to develop an automated webinar where people can come in, they can see the general message, and if they like what they hear, they can set up a strategy session to find out more.
Love it.
So that's so Lee, I was bringing that up because it feels like you're that's a major priority to you too.
It is, but you can't. The mistake is you can't just recruit someone. You need to attract them. There's a big difference. If you just try to, if you're the out of breath sales guy, then people are going to run. They can see them from a mile away. But if you can, I mean, I've been there. I've, verbally vomited on people before, early on, and it just doesn't work, and it just turns people off.
Yeah.
But if you have a good message and you're giving them value that can help them be successful in the real estate business, then they just, and a lot of times it's no different than selling a house or getting that listing. Sometimes it's not the right time. Like I've, a lot of times I've had people call me time and time again, and I would voicemail it. But then when I'm finally ready to talk, I listen,
That's good. Phil, how about you? Are you in recruiting mode right now?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I just added another brand new agent on last week, and now I'm looking to get somebody that's got some experience.
Yeah.
So I got 2 brand new agents and one seasoned, but looking to get a top producer.
Yeah, absolutely. It can be a game.
That's always tough when you have multiple new agents at one time.
Yes, it is.
Especially in this market. This is a tough market for someone brand new, just because, I mean, where we get most of our business is our sphere of influence and attracting them through, a lot of the techniques that Isaiah is talking about. And it's someone that's brand new that it's difficult.
Yep.
It's a long road.
Yeah, I think the setup is a little bit more difficult, right? Like getting the foundation in place is a little bit more difficult because there's so much going on. But that's why I think I talk a lot about either you should be building a team or joining a team that already has these systems in place. Because the setup can take a while, and I think the next best option is obviously getting involved with a network with like Ren, who has a lot of these systems already in place, where you don't have to worry about piecing them all together. You can just get them. You just got to figure them out and learn them as you're growing and making sure you're finding the balance of learning and doing at the same time. So.
Yeah, like I walk through all the stuff that you guys would provide, including the geo leads and setting up the drip campaigns, and I just blew her mind. Like, she's like this lady is a $7-8 million producer at probably one of the largest brokerages out there, and she's just she's like, if I miss my Tuesday meeting, I got to wait till next week and maybe it'll be recorded.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's awesome, Lee. That's a great story. Yeah. And I encourage you guys, if you have admins, if you have inside sales agents, if you have marketing professionals, if you're trying to attract an agent, think about what classes and what courses would be best to plug them into as far as these type of environments, and just leverage this as much as you can. So, all right, we got time for one more thought or question or whatever it may be before we wrap it up.
I would just add to that, that pie you were showing us,
Yes. Oh, she froze.
is the quality of the accountability program part of the coaching, or would that be part of taking action, of the commitment of the agent, or both?
Oof, that's a really good question. The accountability part of things, I would say, should be part of the system.
Okay.
It should be part of the system. And, group coaching, it's tough to have accountability. You try to have some accountability there. And that's why I like the challenge model,
Mm-hmm.
because that's why I've incorporated it into our group coaching, is because it helps a person focus.
Yeah.
Right. And helps them get them focused on 21 days, 21-day game plan.
Mm-hmm.
And, but yeah, I would say, going back to where the piece that I think that there didn't survey on was the effectiveness of the roadmap.
Yeah.
And the system in place to help us all execute.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yes.
Vanessa. Hey. So I love Vanessa. You know why? Because she's on my team.
Oh.
No, I love her for other reasons too. So Vanessa is just, I'm just really impressed with what you've done in the last 3 months, Vanessa. It's just really,
Thank
really
you.
cool. She's just getting ramped up. So
Yeah.
she's just getting ramped up. Vanessa, we were just kind of having a side chat here. We finished our training for the day. So we're just talking about the importance of getting systems in place, and then having the people, the process and tools kind of come together, and how much that matters as part of being part of coaching. So like, we showed off this diagram, and this right here, we were just kind of having a friendly debate or just conversation, saying this is something that Inman surveyed, and they said that the effectiveness of coaching depends on the quality of the coach, cost of the program, and obviously the agent's ability to be able to commit to following the process. And so one of the things we were saying is, we don't think that we think that Lee said the cost of the program, we feel like, matters, because if it's too inexpensive or free, people aren't going to take it serious.
Right. Yeah.
And then the other comment was made, well, does this represent how effective the process that the coach has put in place so the agent can actually execute?
Mhm.
And I think that's Laura kind of mentioned that. I personally think that's really important, is because if there's not a good system in place, it's going to be very hard for them to execute. And to me, that goes back to the quality of the coach. So I would probably rank this a little bit differently, but this is Inman's opinion. So,
Yeah, I was looking at that at the post earlier. No, I totally agree. I've been in so many different coaching, and part of it is, do you trust the people you work with? That's part of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen a lot.
Yep, that's true. So do you have any comments? Because you've been in a lot of different programs. Do you have any comments?
You know what? I think you got to be 100% honest with yourself about what you're really going to accomplish, like what you're really going to do, and go for it. I was trying to do too many things at once, and so it wasn't working out. But my experience with Ren is it's really super organized, which is helpful. I was at another broker where they had tons of training, but it was like all over the place.
Right.
I mean, there was no order, nothing. So
Right.
yeah. I think it depends on the person's individual strengths. So, like for me, I think commitment is huge, and quality of the coach is huge, more than the cost of the program personally.
Yeah. Yep, that's good. And so just as we're coming off of this challenge, and I want to encourage everybody, is that even if you weren't at the challenge, think to yourself what you want to get done in the next 21 days within this flywheel that you're gonna hyper focus on. And we're running the challenge a little bit different now, Vanessa, where we're talking about a little bit of every topic, and then each agent or team is just picking one area for 21 days that they can like really focus on to see improvement, to have a breakthrough. The whole idea is to have a breakthrough in that area. And then we do, and then they come back to the challenge the next month and focus on a different area.
I like it. Yeah.
So I just want to encourage you guys, if you haven't done that yet, you know, the challenge is starting today. So what area of focus, right? It's not to say you drop everything else, right? But there's an extra focus on that particular area to innovate and make it better. So what area of focus are you going to commit to with lead generation, lead follow-up, social media, lead conversion, client experience, or agent attraction? And don't get me wrong, there's another focus area in the middle here of making sure your database is in order and set up and everything's organized. Okay. So with that, I'm all set. I got 5 minutes until my boot camp starts, so I got to go get ready for it, for the boot camp. And I hope you guys have an awesome rest of the day. Okay. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you.
Lee, if you want to
Bye-bye.
collaborate today, if you want to collaborate this week, let's make sure we touch base. sooner
Okay.
than later.
I'll send you a messenger.
Okay. Awesome. Let's do
Okay.
it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yep. You too.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.